Hello, I should normally be live now. So definitely let me know if you hear me, if you see me. I am wondering whether I should change this a little bit to there, but then then you have the end of the bookshelf, so we'll keep it with this view. So, how are you all doing? I am just back from Den Haag. I arrived back yesterday around 7 o'clock. My body is tired because I did a ton of walking, but I originally said that I was going to start off the morning with a session of step aerobics, which I didn't do because I didn't wake up in time for it. So I'll have to do that after sprints because, I want to take a shower because my hair is greasy. Sorry for that. But I also feel like it's a waste of time to wash my hair now and not do the step aerobics because it's like the perfect opportunity to do step is sweat it all out and then take the shower. So I'll have to do that after sprints, and Fate is now sabotaging this chatty bit by sitting down right in front of my laptop because she's noticed that that is where my attention is. So my cats are very happy to see me back here, and I am also happy to be home. I love going away on trips, but I also love being back. Can you just move, please? Thanks. So we had somebody check in very, very early, so a few hours ago here. Gosh, that's too early for me, but enjoy the sprints. Yes, definitely. If you're in a different time zone, I can absolutely understand that a time like this doesn't work out for everybody. But there will be more. Like if you're watching this at a later point in the day, you can check out because there will be some more. So I haven't put the link in the description. I think I will do that during the first chatty bit, but I'll put like a link for more info to Barbora's channel there. Hello, Barbora. How is everybody doing indeed? So, I haven't done much for this challenge so far. I've read like a chapter maybe every single day. So, on Friday, on Saturday, I might have read like two or three maybe yesterday, but not that much. But I already read a little bit today as well. I got up around 1.5 hours ago, took a shower, and read 30 pages. Now it's breakfast time. I already had my breakfast, but so yeah, no shower yet. Morning, Judith. And morning, Josephine. Just woke up, crawled out of bed, and made some tea and breakfast ready, and took it to with me to bed again. Nice breakfast in bed, perfect for a Sunday morning. I get myself some coffee. Yeah, I had the coffee. I had my breakfast. I poured myself a water drop with some like caffeine in it. So we are ready to have a crack at it. Hello, Kat. Good morning. I'm ready to get some reading done. Exactly. Isn't that how it's supposed to be on a Sunday? Exactly. Sounds like the perfect Sunday plan. Morning, Larissa. Indeed. These sprints were a great surprise to wake up to. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I scheduled them pretty last minute last night, I guess. Hey, Alex. I'm doing well. How are you? Morning, Natalie. Just woke up and I'm still in bed. I'm gonna read a manga here before getting up. It's also super cozy to read in bed. Did my Duolingo already just now. I didn't do it last night. I've been very good about keeping up with like one lesson while I was away in Den Haag, but for some reason, when I got back here, I was like, oh no, not another Duolingo lesson. I just want to go to bed. I'm in the middle of 5 books and kind of want to start two more. I need help. Well, you know my project. And so I have a huge pile here because for today, so oh Jesus, that's too heavy. My goal has been to start all of my unread books on my TBR before the end of this week, and this is what we have left. We have 5 more books to get going in. I will be starting definitely 3 of them throughout these sprints because I'll do 3 sprints of 40 minutes, right? Is that what I typically do? 40, right? So I'll do 3 sprints of 40 minutes. So in each sprint, I'll tackle at least one book, depending on like how long the chapters are. I might squeeze in one of these other books into those three 40-minute sprints. So I might be able to tackle 4 of them. But yeah, I have quite a fair bit reading left to do. And then I will be reading because hello, good morning, Lila. I am now at 11, I think. That it doesn't make sense because I have 5 on my lap. Oh, yeah, that does make sense because I have 16, right? So I think I'm at 11. No, it should be at 12 then because one of them isn't even a TBR book. Currently reading 11. Am I missing a book then? I don't know, I have 15 probably on my physical TBR. Physical TBR contains. All right, update please. Contains 16 books. So which book am I missing? Now that's gonna bother me. Because I have already started all of my ebooks normally. So what is on my lap should be the remaining books. And all of these are exactly what I've already started, right? No, of course. Yeah. I'm not reading one of my books. So I have, in principle, I should start 6 today, but I'm gonna keep one off because that is my dragon read along book for September. So I'm only gonna start that one in September. That one is excluded from this project. Planning on planning on reading My Throat and Open Grave in the first sprint, so I'm on track for the buddy read and then switch to The Wisdom of Crows. Interesting title, My Throat and Open Grave. It sounds quite literary, but it could also be super horror. But maybe it's even something different than that. I just got home and planned a shower, then listen on showering or a shower, then listening to books and blogging. Nice. How can you keep track of the characters and stories at this point, you crazy? Yeah, I mean, I filmed an update right before this, and it was about the 3 books that I started the evening before going to Den Haag. And yeah, I have no memory of those 3 books that I started. Like, all I remember is thinking at the same time because there's like they're a trilogy of trilogies of which the author is going to write the first book. So he's written the first books of all 3 of the trilogies. Now he will write the second book and then he will write the third book. So they'll be coming out at the same time. But so you'll read the first books in all trilogies at the same time. And yeah, that was super confusing because some of the characters overlap and stuff like that. So all I remember is thinking at the time, like, maybe you're not really supposed to read all 3 of them at the same time, but read them one after the other because this is just going to be confusing. But we'll see. I'll still challenge myself to do it probably. Uh, just jumped. I think I'm going to focus on Know My Name by Chanel Miller for now. Nice. That's also my one to read. Oh no, the confusion. Yeah. I already read 1 chapter of the first Bride thing in bed this morning, so gonna continue that. Nice. Don't know that one. I'm a little behind on your readathon, Cleo. Still need to read Poison Song and To Shape a Dragon's Breath. Decided to skip the Tea Dragon Society. Well, that was the easiest one. Because that was just like a few, that was very easy to get through. I still need to read The Waking Fire as well, so, but I'm gonna focus on that one. I think I should probably start like tomorrow just to be sure, because then I have 2 weeks to read it because it is quite long. So I'll probably start tomorrow to make sure that I don't have to like squeeze it in or like panic read towards the end of the month. Yes, but can get it anywhere. I don't want to buy it. Yeah, sure. I can understand that. I'm going to read Umbrella Mouse too. This sounds so cute. Or like a mix between, or it's like Umbrella Academy, but with mice instead of people. But yeah, I don't actually know which one I'm gonna start. Maybe I'll go easy on myself and I'll start the one that I've already soft DNF'd in the past. That'll be Fathom Phantom Folk by Eliza Chan. Where is this camera? Okay, so Phantom Folk by Eliza Chan. I started this book on my commute already at one point in time. So it's a Illumicrate book, and all I really know about it is like water based world, and there's a lot of discrimination against like water creatures, but I just couldn't get into it. And so I'm hoping that if I'm going to read it physically now, I might get along with it a little bit better. So I'm going to start that one because I should be familiar with the story already because I read a few hours in it already. So let's go for the sprint. See you guys in 40 minutes. Good luck. Welcome back. Hope you guys had a productive sprint. I normally added Bud Brother's channel into the description of this video now, and I read 19 pages of Fathom Folk. As indicated, I have listened to those already in the past, so it wasn't really anything new. Though I will say that with finally having physically read it, I did catch more of it because I felt with this book, I felt the entire time while I was listening to it, my mind was always slipping away. And so I was missing bits and pieces everywhere until the point where I was just like, okay, I've missed too many bits and pieces and I can no longer follow along. So I'm hoping that the physical read will just work better for me. I might switch back to audio at some point or combine the two of them. But right now I just did physical only for it. And now I think I'm going to choose for the next sprint between my two non-fantasy books that I still have left. So My Year of Rest and Relaxation and Disobedient by Elizabeth Fremantle. My Year of Rest and Relaxation, to be fair, I don't really know what it is about. Disobedience is about the Italian painter Artemisia Gentileschi. I've read a fantasy book that was inspired by her life, but this is basically the events before that fantasy book started, because the fantasy book started at the point in time in which she moves to Florence. And so, through kind of reveals throughout the book, we found out some of the events that take place in Rome prior to the start of that. But this one is the story of her life set in Rome. And I just realized it has damage at the back because the back is wrongfully bound. But okay, fine. It is at least none of the pages that are wrongfully bound contain part of the story. But so yeah, either one of those two I will be starting in the next sprint. Probably the Artemisia Gentileschi one, first of all, because I have more interest in starting it. But the other one, it seems has also really long chapters, which I'm not really in the mood for it at the point in time. And wait, no, Larissa, this is such a cute and lovely story with beautiful artwork. Hope you'll find it somewhere at some point. Yeah, maybe your library has it, or you can ask them to get it, maybe, or in Dutch. Um, because it is nice and cute, but it is indeed. I can understand the hesitation definitely because these books are really expensive and you get through them so quickly. But they are indeed lovely and love the art style of it and the messaging. Hello, I just woke up. Trying my best to get back into reading, so I'll try to choose a book before the timer ends. Okay, did you? Do you know what you're going to be reading next? I only had breakfast and watched YouTube. Also valid. Always true, almost true with Cherry Magic volume. It's a very cute one. A wedding is happening in this volume. Nice. Are there a lot of volumes in this particular manga series? Read a chapter. If I didn't know that this was a memoir, I wouldn't have believed some of the things. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. In a bad way, I'm thinking, considering the topic of this book. I made some coffee and porridge for breakfast and fed the cats. Nice. Read 55 pages of My Throat an Open Grave. Wow, it's a lot. Not that I think they are impossible, but I think they were exaggerated to make a point or something like that. The fact that this all really happened. Yeah. Sometimes reality is more mind-boggling than fiction can be. And I guess that all that has to do with the fact of it being oh my god, this really happened. I read one chapter and had breakfasts. Nice. The library doesn't have it, otherwise I would have lent it. It's unfortunate. I read one chapter and had breakfasts. Nice. Oh yeah, okay. That comment came through the first time. Some of the things happening in Know My Name are really horrible. Such a hard but important read. Yeah. Don't know why my message sent twice, lol. I've had it in the past as well that it comes through twice, or sometimes that you you press on the enter and the message still stays there as if it didn't come through, and then you press enter again and then all of a sudden it goes through multiple times. I had that recently. I at work I had that where I was creating something in our system, and then like it kept on loading while I was saving it. So I tried to like load again, like save it again and save it again, and in the end I ended up saving four versions of it, unfortunately, which I had to then cancel three of because I of course only needed one of it. So sad I can't be here today, but hope you all have lots of fun. Well, hope you have fun too wherever you will be going. I am enjoying the fact that I have a lazy day here now. You know, but that's also, it was like intentional. All of us felt like that. We were like, okay, we'll go on a weekend together, but let's make sure that we return on Saturday so that we can have the Sunday to kind of like decompress, take our time, and just like have the chill weekend vibes rather than, like being in the rush of the commute back from Den Haag to here, and then having to go straight into a work day. No, I didn't. No worries. What are your options? Can we help you with anything? Like, are there many choices that you're stuck in between, or is it just like you cannot decide between a few? Because then we can potentially help you out. Though if it's like choosing between 1,000 books, then I don't know whether we can narrow it down in that case. Um, but yeah, what can we talk about? Give me something to talk about, guys, because my brain isn't braining yet this morning. Oh, I'm also covering my face with the timer. I put the timer in a very unfortunate position, or I put the camera in a unfortunate position because I cannot just like lean here. Have to stay upright and in an active body position. But yeah, for those of you guys who have been part of Camp Readathon as well, Camp Enchanted Readathon, how are you guys still doing with the water? Because the water consumption has been a big issue since I've returned from, well, since I've been in Den Haag, because I didn't drink a ton when I was there. Which always happens when I'm on a city trip. I don't understand how people stay on top of their hydration game in those situations, because it's just like you constantly have to go and grab water somewhere. It's always inconvenience. So yeah, I am off the hydration game. So part of the goal for these sprints is also to make sure I drink enough water. So with that being said, hydration check, guys. So let's get some water in. Show us the Christmas ornaments. I can show it to you, but then you're gonna have to entertain yourselves for a second because it is in my bedroom. So let's do it with a little bit of a quiz element to it. So for the Dutchies amongst you, everybody else is also allowed to guess this if they were to know this. I would be very much impressed by that. But there's a very famous painting that is hanging in Den Haag, and this ornament is inspired by that very famous painting. Aside from that, this is a variation on a children cartoon animal that is famously from the Netherlands. So I'm gonna give you a few moments to either research this or give me the answer. I love your bookshelves in the back. Thank you. I definitely need to clean them up at one point in time or another because I think I now have too many books to still fit on there. So I should really do a sort of like unhaul. Because there definitely are quite a few books on there at the moment that can go, but I haven't really been bothering like unhauling them because I felt like, okay, if I unhaul them, I just have empty shelves. But now I have more than enough books to still go on there. I'm so slacking with the water the last 3 days. Yeah, me too. Hello, Jeroen. Late to the party, but here now. Welcome. My hydrating hasn't been going well. I read 10 pages and got ready to go out for a bit. We'll be back in about an hour. Enjoy. How many turtles have you guys saved so far? Oh, good question. It was every 50 pages, right? What have I read? Because it won't have been too much yet, I'm afraid. So let's see stats for the month of August. So to stop ensnaring yourself. What is it? 18th. Okay. So it started on the 16th, right? So 13 pages on the 16th, 28 on the 17th. So there's 41 plus 61 is 102. So two turtles in that case, right? I kept up with the hydration for the most part. I think more than half of the days I managed. Nice. I think statistically speaking, probably still more than half. I think I'll go with Death at Morning House by Maureen Johnson. Okay, nice. That's the author of something with like the girl in the woods or something like that, like or the something with a box for some reason I want to think about. I'm at five turtles, I think. Nice. I also wanted to go out and read there, but the weather today is pretty meh. Yeah, I see it's pretty meh here as well. We had such good weather in Den Haag, like perfect city trip weather. You know, like not too thick, not too thin, not too thick. What am I saying? Not too hot, not too cold. I think I'm on 18 turtles. Wow. I'm drinking my water, but I do keep forgetting of it. Yeah. Don't think I've ever been to Den Haag, so I haven't a clue. Okay. Dickie Dick? No, it's not Dickie Dick. No idea? No? Why can't I think of any Dutch children book figures? Also, no clue. Okay. Jip en Jannetje? Nope. But might also be the Van Gogh Pikachu painting. It's not a Van Gogh. And I will Nantje Miffy. It is Nantje. It is Miffy. Pikachu is not Dutch, indeed. Yeah, I also didn't know that there was a Van Gogh Pikachu painting. I know, but I had to add the painting in, right? So it is a Miffy. So it is catch. Can you be a little bit more clearer? No, you cannot. So it is little Nantje, and it is Nantje with a pearl earring. So it is Girl with the Pearl Earring by Vermeer, which is hanging in the Mauritshuis in Den Haag. And so it is Miffy with a pearl earring. So I always love getting ornaments when I'm away. And when I saw this one in the Mauritshuis gift shop, I was like, I need this. I need this right now. Yeah, it is really cute. You guessed it, indeed. Yeah, I typically like for a long time I gathered like magnets, and I do still to some extent do that, even though I didn't get a magnet this trip, for example. But if I can find Christmas ornaments, I love getting Christmas ornaments on my holidays, because then when you like create set up your Christmas tree and it's got all these ornaments from different places that you've been, it's just like a lovely memory and lovely like way to have to put some meaning into your Christmas tree or something like that. I don't know. I just always love it when I'm putting on my Christmas tree and I'm getting out my ornaments, and like not all of them, of course, are linked to places I've been. But so when I get to those ornaments that I've gotten from different places, it's just always lovely to kind of remember those moments when you're putting up the Christmas tree. So whenever I can find a beautiful Christmas ornament, like on my trips, I will always do so because I think it's like the best holiday souvenir. So would have bought it too. Yeah, it was a bit pricey, of course. I think it was like 20 euros. Yeah, 1995. So it was 20 euros. So it's definitely not the cheapest thing. Which I mean, of course not. It's a it's a Christmas ornament, a glass Christmas ornament from an official store from a museum. But it's not. I've had cheaper Christmas ornaments on my trips. Let's say it like that. But I do like it's still worth it. Posted the picture in my Discord. Okay, of the Pikachu painting, right? But the Mauritius was really lovely. I did really enjoy going there, and it had a few other like famous paintings. I also got a. Oh yeah, right. I have seen that one. Wow, that's totally not visible. Can you do that without the glare? No, apparently you cannot. Wait, wait, it's coming. It's coming. Yee. All right, you can get the ID somewhat, but go over to my Discord if you want to see it properly because that was not working out well. But so, what was I talking about? I was saying something. Yeah, it also had. I also got like a bookmark with the painting, the goldfinch on it, so that if I ever read the Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, right, then I can have the matching what do we call that bookmark in it. Yeah, yeah, I tried to show it here, but it's much better to go and check it out in the Discord because that was not really great camera work there. Over on this little camera over here. But so yeah, we basically went to that museum mainly, and then quite some shopping and a lot of eating. I love food, and I was with two other vegetarians, which is perfection. Like I love going on trips with just vegetarians. No offense to meat eaters, but if you're vegetarian and you're out with just vegetarians, it's just like paradise. Now that you're almost at zero TBR, you start collecting bookmarks that match to books. Yeah, I can start just like buying bookmarks for books that I haven't read yet and don't own yet. The Pikachu is so cute, indeed. You intend to read The Goldfinch at some point? I'm intimidated by its length. Yeah, I do want to read it at some point. I have a friend who read it and really, really loved it. I have another friend who tried to read it and they couldn't get into it. So it's probably something that I should maybe like read a sample of it for. It's always an intention of mine, but I never stick to it. But I should definitely be doing it once I get to zero TBR again, is to kind of read samples of the books before getting them because very like not always not like very regularly but occasionally it definitely still happens that I like buy a book and then I read like the first 10 pages and I already know that that writing style it just isn't for me, and so just reading a few pages in the bookstore or in the online sample can already prevent some of those like needless purchases because yes, the story interests me, but there are certain writing styles that I just cannot get along with, and so I should really, really learn to read the sample. But this weekend was a little bit frustrating for me as well in terms of book buying. So I didn't buy a book, which is a good thing, I should say. But there's a book that I have pre-ordered that was in every bookstore that we visited, and I don't have my copy of it yet. Probably because I pre-ordered a hardback for it, and so the paperback was out in full force, and so the hardback is maybe a little bit more difficult to obtain. Even though I still am of the opinion that when you have a pre-order link on your website as a bookstore, you should just make sure that that book is there by the time that it's published. But so yeah, it was frustrating because I was like, I want this book and this book is there, but I shouldn't buy it because I've pre-ordered it. And the book that I was going to allow myself to buy was nowhere there. I asked for it in final day, and then the bookseller in that store was like, "Ah, yeah, it's ordered, but it hasn't arrived yet," which is crazy because it is in bookstores here already, and it is by a Dutch author. So I was like, this would have been the perfect thing. So the book that I have pre-ordered is the new Elif Shafak, which I've forgotten the title of. And the book that I wanted to get but wasn't there is the Safe Keep by Yael van der Woude, which is a book nominated for the Booker Prize. Uh, oh my god, that was loud. It was already loud last time, and I should have really changed the volume on this. Is this because the volume on my laptop in general is so loud? No, the volume on my laptop isn't even that loud. Then why is it so loud? I'll just put my volume even lower. Um, So that's a book by Yael van der Woude, is a Dutch author, but she writes in English, and so she's nominated for the Booker Prize for that book. But that was nowhere there. So I was like, okay, I guess it wasn't meant to be, and I should be happy because I didn't foresee buying a new book in the Netherlands. But still, I'm also somewhat annoyed at the fact that I cannot have a new book now. Where is this timer? Right. So with that small side note, let's just go into another sprint. And happy reading. Good luck, guys. See you in 40. Hello. Why is my timer not going? Okay. Hello. How did we all do? I actually read two books. I read chapters in two of my unread books so far, and both of these have been really good chapters that make me think that these are two books that I'll probably be prioritizing within this project. So, as indicated, I read the first chapter of Disobedient by Elizabeth Fremantle. So, this is a book, as I indicated, about Artemisia Gentileschi. For those of you who don't know, because I also didn't know before I read this other book about her, she was an Italian painter during the 18th century, I want to say. So, she's a female painter who has been kind of, like most female figures in history, she's kind of been forgotten and then now is being uh, like her work is like resurfacing and gaining more importance. And she has really interesting paintings. So she has like some paintings showing women cutting off men's head and stuff like that, for example. So I think she's a very interesting figure. Do read up about her if you want to read a book about her because of the trigger warnings in her story. But yeah, I really enjoyed this first chapter that we saw in this book. So this is a book that I'm very eager to prioritize soon. And then another one is The Silver Blood Promise by James Logan in the beautiful Broken Binding edition. And this first chapter also was really, really good, making me want to continue with this one now. So yeah, I have, out of all the books that I've currently read, I think these two are definitely amongst like the top five at the very least of the books that I've read that I want to be like prioritizing soon. So this is also part of the fun of doing this project, is like getting to figure out which one of them do like immediately spark an interest in me, and so should be books that I'm like prioritizing in order to make sure that I get to that zero TBR quicker. Eh, Hello, Charlotte. Missed quite a bit of sprints today as we went to the second-hand market in our village. It was more than 5 kilometers of stalls, so lots to see. Nice. Did you get anything there? I read 24 pages. Nice. I also feel like my YouTube ad needs an update as videos constantly seem to freeze for me while the audio goes in. Oh no. I finished the manga volume, got up and dressed, and am now making breakfast. Nice. Enjoy. I read 43 pages of The Wisdom of Crowds. Nice. Still going on with that one. I've read 26 pages of Umbrella Mouse to the Rescue, making me think of like Rescue Rangers that way. Spent most of that sprint writing a Goodreads review. I'm worthy. And then I had 7 minutes left, so I quickly looked up some stuff for a special project I'm working on. No. I think I read 17 pages, half a liter done too, and made more tea. Nice. Yes. Hydration reminder because I am still on my first half liter. So yeah, we I still have some work to do in that sense. Um, but so I read a total of 31 pages, I think, 15 pages in Disobedient and 16 pages in The Silver Blood Promise. And so I only have two more books to get started in now. So I only have My Year of Rest and Relaxation left, and then my latest edition, The Phoenix Keeper. So those are the last two books on my TBR that I need to get started with, then the exception of The Sky on Fire, which, as I indicated, I'm leaving for September. And then I will be reading 16 books at the same time. Nope, I had to prioritize library books first. Yeah, I think like I occasionally during the past few days kind of flip through the Discord, and so I think I saw like a huge pile or something like that of the books that you're currently reading. So you also definitely had a lot going on at the same time. I didn't get anything myself. Wanted a glass pie stand, but they were all glass and I didn't want to risk anything breaking as I didn't really have any packing materials with me. Yeah, understand. Boyfriend got 2 Lipton glasses as he's collecting all different styles. Nice. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I would say don't try this at home. Like so far, I think it's more or less going okay. It's just the 3 books that I started right before leaving on um the trip to Den Haag, which I feel are the ones that like I am most unsure about what happened in them. And also probably the Principle of Moments. But in the Principle of Moments, I only read like the first maybe 3 pages or something like that because I was too tired at that point in time. And they're just like glimpses into the mythology of this world. So I'll probably have to reread that, but it also kind of makes sense to me that I don't really have much memory of what I read in those few pages. So aside from that, I feel like I can still distinguish between what happened in all of them, which is very surprising to me. As somebody who cannot remember books that I finished like a week ago, it's surprising to me that I'm now, I think, pretty okay with remembering most of what has happened so far in the books that I'm currently reading. But so yeah, I also have to kind of come up with what my plan is going to be for next week or like what my goal is going to be for next week. Because this week the goal very much was get started in everything. Like I don't need to be finishing anything just as long as I get started in everything that I have on the TBR. But that means that I am currently like started in like a ton of books, but all of them are just like a few percentages, like with the exception of Gold by Raven Kennedy, which I am almost halfway through. And then Runes of Smoke is very short one, so I'm like a third of the way through that one already. And then my audiobook for my commute, I'm also a third of the way through. So probably, I guess my goal for next week can be just to finish one of them. And like at the very least, I can finish Runes of Smoke in that case, because that's only like that's under 100 pages long. So I can easily get that one in as an easy goal. But maybe I need to put myself a little bit of a challenging goal to make sure that I am like staying on track of this project. Though I also don't necessarily want to make it too challenging. I'm currently reading The Book That Wouldn't Burn, and I'm not sure if I like it or not. If anyone else has heard it, what were your thoughts? That's the first one, or it's the second one? It's the first one, probably, right? I feel like I've heard quite a lot of mixed things about the second one. I feel like I've seen 2 people at least, but I don't remember the second. But I think Angela from Literature Science Alliance, she's read these books. I think she wasn't all that like she was mixed at the very least about the second book, I think. I don't actually remember who the second one is. Maybe make it halfway through 5. That could be interesting as well to put it like that. So, like reasonably speaking, I will definitely make it halfway through Runes of Smoke, Gold, and the Saturday Morning Park Run. And so, indeed, it would be to some extent a challenge to add 2 other books to that list because all the rest are just like really 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, 2%, 3%, 7%, 2, 3, 10. Kushiel's Mercy is the closest, I guess, but Kushiel Mercy is also a book that will go really, really slow. So, yeah, that could be a good idea. And then I can actually prioritize, for example, Disobedience, because I think that I can get through quite a lot of pages in that relatively quickly. So yeah, that sounds like a good one. I'll take that one, Natalie. You successfully managed to complete the Zero TBRs challenge, so this will be totally fine for you. Yeah, I mean, it's the second TBR Zero challenge because somehow I'm still doing this to myself. But yeah, that could be a nice challenge indeed to do it like that, and that could set me up for some real progress, like some real progress. I mean, that could set me up for finishing a few of these at least before the end of the month. Um, yeah, because with some of these, I have the problem that they are part of other challenges. So, for example, this one. Yeah. My Year of Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. Ideally, I want to do a challenge in which I'm reading multiple Otessa Moshfegh's books because I've been interested to see whether this author is for me or not. And I wanted to do this challenge where I'm reading like 3 books by certain authors that I've never tried before, such as Bachman, for example. And so Otessa Moshfegh is one of those authors. So in principle, when I'm going to be prioritizing this one, I will be reading 2 other books by her which aren't on my TBR. And then I have those 3 books that are part of that trilogy of trilogies, which I also want to do a separate video for. So that's gonna, like, when I'm timing in those, that's gonna be a little bit more difficult. I thought it was very slow and just too many words. I heard that if you're able to connect to it, it's 100% worth it, but if you're not really connected to it, the ending won't make you like it. I haven't really heard too much about it, which to some extent surprises me because, this is the cover absolutely screams booktube book. So I would assume that like a ton of booktubers have this book and would be reading this book, but I haven't heard too much about it neither. It's also like it's Mark Lawrence, so it's an author that a lot of people in the booktube community have read something by. I haven't. But I'm surprised that I haven't heard more about this book. I was kind of thinking that this book was gonna kind of blow up to some extent, and I feel like that hasn't really happened. And then that second book was there before I even realized that the first one had been out long enough for there to be a second one. I'm on a reducing the TBR challenge, not 0, because I know I'll always want at least a few options whenever I go to pick a new book, but reducing to half seems like a good idea for me. Yeah, definitely. I want to go like once I've gone to 0, I kind of want to go to TBRs of 5, where I can then do like a video in which I'm choosing 5 books to add to the TBR, either like from library, from ebooks, physical books. They don't have to always be 5 physical books that I'm adding, but just kind of making a 5 book TBR and then reading those 5 books, giving a little bit of my thoughts and opinions about those 5, and then choosing 5 more. And just constantly doing it a little bit like that, so that I kind of have a choice that is very in the moment and very much fueled by what I'm feeling like, and thus having more of a, like, I don't know, impromptu, spur of the moment mood reading TBR than what I'm currently having, which is completely self imposed, of course. Like, with 16 books on the TBR, I could easily just say like, oh, I'm really not feeling like any of these 16 now. I'll just get another one and just start reading this one and not have that guilt. But for me, I have that guilt, unfortunately. I still have that, oh no, but I have those 17 books on there that I should be prioritizing. So I feel like if I have a physical book, it seems like I'm just automatically feeling that obligation of needing to prioritize that over anything else. And so um, short TBRs is what hopefully will work for me. We'll see. I thought that a smaller TBR would work for me as well when I went through my first TBR 0 project. But I also never went to, like, so I went to 0 and then immediately went back to like 15 or something because I immediately went on that book buying spree. So I'll be interested to see what it'll be like to just have like under 10 books on there. Uh, I started the year with around 30 on my physical TBR, which I was feeling good about. Now I'm at 48, so I want to bring it down a bit till the end of the year. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I think I had originally said that it was going to be 30, right? But even like immediately from buying those 17, I almost immediately felt like, because I got them all at the same time, it immediately felt like somewhat overwhelming again. And I did get over 30 at one point in time as well. But I think 30 for me is just a little bit too much because I'm also reading audiobooks that aren't on my TBR or sometimes ebooks that aren't on my TBR throughout the year. Um, it still feels like a little bit of a struggle to get to those books that I've bought like close to the 1 year ago mark. The big issue with this challenge is sequels, as I own the first book, read it, and then want to continue and buy the sequel and have another book to read to get the TBR down. Yeah, exactly. I understand that perfectly. My TBR also got bigger this year, but I'm planning to do a no buy rest of the year. But my birthday and Christmas is still coming up. I think I can wish for books there. Yeah, definitely. You can kind of be like, okay, I won't like add anything myself to it anymore, but if other people add stuff to it, that should be fine. And like depending on the ratio of what you read, you might even still be able to reduce the TBR, even though some books are coming in. And even if you aren't, that's still fine. It's just like a way to, I guess, control the damage, if you want to consider it as damage. I'm at 66 at the moment. It's bad. I mean, it's not bad. There are a ton of people who have way more than that. It just depends on what you're comfortable with. Like considering you're saying it's bad, I consider that probably you are more comfortable with a lower TBR, and then yeah, then indeed it's about trying to take steps to tackle that, which can be difficult, especially if you're part of booktube or if you have a lot of bookish people that you're friends with and you're exposed a lot to the sort of like the booktube videos that are all about like accumulating books and like adding books to the TBR and all of those hauls and stuff like that. It can create this sort of feeling of like it can really spur on that want to add books to the TBR. And it's really a little bit of a conscious decision to try and fight against that. Hello, Daniela. How are you doing? I would exclude sequels because I also want to work on my goal to finish book series. Yes, I know. It's there's so many goals at the same time. I still have to edit my series updates. I feel like I'm kind of postponing that to one extent because of the fact that as long as I don't really edit it, I also don't really know how much I started or how much I finished, how much I progressed. And so as long as I don't edit it, I don't know how poorly I did in the last 12 months. I'm not buying anything until Yalk. That's where I'm letting myself buy all the books that I've read digitally, hopefully for a good price. Nice. I have at least 200, I think, and might be even more than that. But I made myself the rule that I just buy sequels if I read the book before over 50% and really enjoy it, so it's worth it. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, um, I definitely fell like it's been a few years I feel since I fell for that trap, but I used to also do that, like buy multiple books in a series all at once and then not really be convinced by book one, and then you've got book two, and of course, yeah, then the moment you've decided that you don't want to continue, you make progress in the sense that you get rid of an extra book. But like monetarily speaking, it's not the best thing to do. And so now I also try to not do that, try to not like buy a book and then like buy multiple books in a series without having even read the first one, because like it's just like bad economics sometimes. But indeed, when you're like 50% into a first book, it might become needed to already get the second book if you want to hop straight into the next one, which is sometimes why I actually like reading some of my books in ebook formats, because I did that with the Plated Prisoner series, where I just read like 4 books of it within 1 week time, and I was just always buying the next ebook like the moment in which I finished the first one. So that is the convenience of ebooks compared to physical books. Same, Judith. Could be fun to find out the actual numbers, but not today. Yeah, sure. Let's keep it for another day. My problem is that I use the library so much, and then there's a book I really want to read that the library doesn't have, but I don't want to buy it because there are still so many at the library. Yeah, I can understand that as well. Like, I shamefully underuse my library. I'm using it a little bit now for some of the books that I have for my read along. But I'm also hoping to make it more of a regular thing once I'm to TBR zero to either do some themed TBRs where I only choose books from the library or just make sure that I quite regularly add like a book from the library into the selection. I like to buy more books in a series because if I read book one, I really loved it, then it's a year until the next one comes out, and then I lost the story and don't read it anymore. So that's a bit sad. Yeah, I mean, I like for there to be more books out there already, so that which is a little bit of a lie because I don't actually tend to have that be the case. But it's nice to have multiple books already out, so that once you finish the first one, you can continue straight on. But I won't buy them at the same time already anymore. But actually, I also really like reading them the moment they come out and being like at the forefront of the hype for something. I find cloud for library really handy for ebooks. They don't have everything, but enough to read something from time to time. Yeah, I don't have that, I think. My TBR very sneakily rose all the way to 17 over the past few months. That does surprise me. Because you also had such a tiny TBR. But the timer went off, so let us go into another sprint and let me see if I can read the first two chapters in, like the first chapter in both of my remaining books. All right. How did you guys do? That's my final sprint. I read some 21 pages in my year of rest and relaxation. This first chapter is apparently like 48 pages long, so I decided not to read the entire first chapter in it today. But I did get like a feeling for the book. But as I indicated, I'm going to be trying to save this one for a little bit later, maybe summer, September, October, because I want to be reading multiple Odessa Moshfeghs to see if she is an author for me or not. This is also a book I have in Dutch, which is an experience because I don't read much in Dutch, and especially not books that are translated into Dutch. And so I think it's okay. I'm not bothered by the Dutch in it too much. And then I didn't really read much in the Phoenix Keeper so far. I basically just read the author's letter and examined the map because this is a book taking place in a magical zoo. And so I checked out like the names of all the different like magical creatures in the zoo and read like the first page or something like that so far. So didn't get too much done yet in that. And then at 3 o'clock there will be more sprints. They will be in the Discord of Barbora. So I linked Barbora's channel in the description. So if you aren't taking part in the reading challenge yet and you wanna spend more time on sprints today, then you can go and check out the Discord link in Barbora's channel to go through those sprints. And then later tonight she will have more sprints herself as well. And so in the time in between my sprints and the sprints that will be hosted by Natalie over there, I will probably be doing a session of step aerobics, showering, and having lunch. Ordered Chinese yesterday, so I still have Chinese left from that because I ordered like for 3 people instead of just a one. So I'll have some more um, to get through of that food in the in the remaining few like today and tomorrow probably. Wait, where was I? Here I think. Cloud Library should work with your library card. Okay, so is it just like an app, or is it like a website or something like that? I don't think I've heard of it before. Hello, you're back. Thought I'd catch the previous chatty bit, but I'll have to go back to it later. No worries. Now on to reading. I'm rereading 4,000 Weeks, so read a bit of that. I don't know that one. 4,000 Weeks. A lot of titles that I haven't heard of in the chat today. 38 pages and made lunch. Only 110 pages left. You've got this. Read 27 pages. I hated that book. Oh, which one? The 4,000 Weeks? Or one that I'm reading? I don't know how much, my year of rest and relaxation, maybe. I don't know how much I read. 20 pages maybe, and I watered my plants. Nice. Had breakfast and then got distracted by Instagram and chatting with my mom. Only 2 pages read. I read 12 pages and did some diamond painting, started the dishwasher, and made tea. I haven't read My Year of Rest and Relaxation, but I really couldn't get on with Lavona by her. Yeah, Lavona also intrigues me because Chadia really enjoyed that one, for example. So Otesha Moshfegh is definitely an author that's kind of can go either way. For some of those other authors that I have in mind of doing this with, so Bachman and Mona Awad, for example, I have more of an expectation that I will probably like her. But Otesha Moshfegh, I'm really not sure, and like I might also do this with what is her name? Olga Tokarczuk, which also is more of a I'm not entirely sure type of deal. So we'll see how I get along with Otessa Moshfegh. So far, it seems fine. But of course, I don't know what the progression of this book is going to be. If it's going to be the entire book long, maybe that'll also bore me. Look at you being productive. Yeah. Wanted to ask about your beautiful henna tattoo. Okay, yeah, no, there's no real occasion. So I just went to Den Haag with 2 friends of mine, and so Den Haag is really at the seaside, and so we took the tram to go to the town that is really at the seaside, and so we went there, and there was like this small market of like, like small businesses who were selling, for example, jewelry and stuff like that. And there was also this one stall that had a woman who was doing henna tattoos. And then we said, like, why don't we all get a henna tattoo? And so we all had it one put on for the occasion, just to share a little bit of our friendship together and support a local business. This is the darkest that it will be normally, because this is day 2, so they put it on Friday, and then so today is the second day after it is put on, and so that it should be the darkest that it is, and then it's going to get lighter and lighter from here on out. Didn't read but started making brunch, French toast and fresh orange juice. Sounds good. So much done in this sprint. Too bad the sprints are over. Yeah. I mean, you'll have plenty of other sprints today. You can definitely still get a lot of productivity in. There's an app and a website. Okay. Did some laundry and watched the video. Yeah, I should definitely also still do some laundry today. And maybe just like go through this living room as well with like a broom or something like that. My phone just turned off, so I read until now. Read 36 pages, also 110 pages left for today. Nice. I hated the year of rest and relaxation. I couldn't wait for it to be over. There's always the nothing. When selecting your library for Cloud Library, make sure to select eBooks Vlaanderen and Brussels or something like that. Okay. If you go to the library's website and then to Digitale Collectie and then eBooks, you find all the information. I've checked out that section before, but I haven't actually done anything with like the information there. By the way, Cleo, I have finished The Husbands and I loved it, so thank you again for the gift. Good to hear, because it's also my one to read, so I might also tackle it once I've finished my TBR 0. But it sounded like such a cool concept. You know, it's a little bit of, to some extent, a little bit of Groundhog Day, like a spin on a Groundhog Day type of plots. I really like Books of Jacob by Tokarczuk. It's very long and dense and complicated though. Yeah, definitely. It would definitely not be like the first Tokarczuk that I would tackle. I would definitely most likely start with like Drive Your Plow, Over the Bones of the Dead, and then maybe go into Flights and then tackle the Books of Jacob, because I don't think, has she had anything else written in the meantime, or those are the only 3 runs, right? Or is there a new one in the meantime? So that would probably be what I would be tackling, like, and I think that that is also more or less the order of publication that I just mentioned there, which also seems like a reasonable order to go in. But yeah, I'm definitely not going to start with like the humongous book first. We'll try like starts easing my way into it and then see, maybe I don't even make it until the Books of Jacob, because that's also something that I haven't really decided with that project. Like, what am I going to do if like I really dislike the writing of that author? I'm just going to ditch the entire project from the first book on, or am I going to give all of them at least a little bit of a chance in that case, because it's always possible that, you know, you don't get along with one book by an author but you do with others. Took me 3 months to read. Yeah, that'll be a long project then, I guess. It was really thought-provoking, but also kind of goofy. Sometimes a bit cynical and unhinged, and I thought that that was a perfect vibe for that concept. Yeah, definitely. I can definitely get the unhinged part from that concept. Wait. She has a few more that are translated into Dutch, but I don't know if there's an English translation out. Okay. Because indeed, that is also a possibility that there's more already translated into Dutch. Yes, my cat was running towards me and just kind of almost fell off of the sofa to get to me. Olga Tokarczuk, Polish writer. Books. So I had The Lost Soul is like a small like graphic novel type of deal, I guess. House of Day, House of Night, Primeval and Other Times. Never heard of that. Playing on a Multitude of Something. So yeah, it seems to be quite a few other things, but it doesn't seem like they're all translated indeed. Like at least the image that I get like an English title, but then the image of the book is like a a Polish title, so maybe they're indeed not all of them are translated yet. Um, I just heard about the husbands last week, I believe, and I love the sound of that. Definitely gonna check it out. Yeah, it sounds real fun, right? But with that, the timer has gone off, so I'm going to be rounding off my sprints over here. As indicated, you can still get a lot more reading done throughout the remainder of the day, either yourself or through sprints. There will be a sprint session starting at 3 over on the Discord of Barbora, which you can find Barbora's channel linked in the description, or you can click on her in the chat, I'm sure. And then those start at 3, and then at 8, I believe, Barbora herself will be starting the final sprints for this little challenge. And so you can still have quite a lot more progress to get through throughout the day. And so I will be taking a break from reading now for a little bit, and hopefully we'll do all the productive stuff in the meantime. But otherwise, I guess I will be using Natalie's sprints to edit my vlog at 3 o'clock. But yeah, that is going to be my session here. So you are all welcome. Thank you guys for being here and keeping me entertained throughout the chatty bits as well. Yeah, 8 p.m. on her channel to wrap it up. So yeah, that'll be it for today. See you guys in the chat hopefully later on. And yeah, decompress a little bit, hydrate, and get ready to get it all started again at 3 p.m. But so yeah, see you guys. Bye.